Hello, welcome to another episode of Life in Business. I'm your host, Libby Langley. It's lovely to have you here again. First thing I wanted to say today is if you like what I say in these podcast episodes, then would you be kind enough to leave me a review? It really makes a difference, and what I'd really like to do is to read out some of the 5-star reviews in a future episode. I think that'd be really fun and give you a shout out as well. It would be really nice to be able to do that. So if you like it, leave me a 5-star review, and if you don't like it, tell me why you don't like it. Don't leave me a negative review because that's just a really sucky thing to do. But message me and tell me what it is that you don't like and what you think could be improved, because feedback's always useful, right? So that's what I wanted to just say first off. And then, welcome. Hi, how are you? Nice to have you here again. It always just is such a pleasure and a joy to be here in your world and to have you in my world. You know, I'm very appreciative of that. And this podcast has been going, now this is episode 64, which is nuts. And I know that a really small percentage of people who start podcasts continue them after even like 10 episodes or something. So I'm pretty proud of that. And I'm extremely proud of the fact that you're here, that you're listening, and that you enjoy these episodes. So whether this is your first episode and you're going to go back and binge the rest, or you've been here from the start or somewhere in between, yay! I love you very much and thank you for being here. So today I'm going to talk to you about something kind of scary. You know, when you kind of need to do something to get to the next stage in where you want to go, and you have to take that big leap of faith. That's what I'm talking about today. So taking a big leap of faith in your business. And the reason that I wanted to talk about this today with you is that I've done this twice in the last week. So, pooing my pants about the whole thing, quite frankly, but it needed to be done, right? Because what you can do is you can build your business. You can build a really good business. You can build a really good business that just, kind of gradually grows. Amazing. Absolutely nothing wrong with that at all. Or you can think, I've got this little itch to kind of do more, be bigger. And so you can want to go right up, and do this massive growth. And in order to do that massive growth, you have to have this leap of faith. You can't do it without it. And it's terrifying, but you have to jump in with both feet in order to be able to be successful. So what's my leaps of faith that I've done in the last 2 weeks? Well, they're both really, really different actually. And the reason that I'm going to share them with you is because it's important that it's important for me to kind of normalize the sort of mundane nature of some of these big leaps of faith. It's not necessarily I need to go and jump off a cliff. I need to do something wild and crazy to to do this. It's I'm really just frightened of making this decision and making this jump. And I talked a couple of episodes ago. I talked about how to make big decisions in your business, and that might be an interesting episode for you to look back on. We can put a link in the show notes for that. But yeah, how to make big decisions. This is kind of different, right? Because big decisions are about knowing that you need to go somewhere, and having that confidence to kind of change your trajectory, or to change the way that you're doing things, or one of my big decisions was about back in 2015 when I made all my staff redundant and gave up my office and got rid of loads of clients and switched my business back to just being me as a consultant and strategist, coach. That was a really big decision, right? So these are the kind of things I talk about in that episode. What I'm talking about today is this kind of leap of faith of just knowing that you need to do things differently and thinking, oh my God, fuck it, I'm going to do it. And then actually doing it, okay? So the two things that I've done recently is that So at the moment, things are absolutely incredible in my business, right? I've got my mastermind days, which are really popular. They started in January 2024, and in February 2024 one, which is in a week or so, 10 days time or something, already sold out, which is incredible. So they're gaining popularity, they're getting sold out, they're really fantastic days. And this was a leap of faith for me to run these and to stop taking on any new one-to-one clients on rolling monthly retainers, right? That was just like a massive big decision that I made, but also this big kind of leap of faith into the way I was running my business and the way I wanted to do it. And I just knew that it would be good for me and it would be good for the people who want my support. And so far, being proven right. But that's the thing about a leap of faith, is that the faith is that you know it's going to work out, and it might need tweaking, might need changing, it might need adjusting along the way. But the leap of faith is that I know that that's what I want to do. I know that that's going to get me to where I want to be. I am just going all in on it. Okay. And so for me, giving up or not taking on, I still have existing one-to-one clients, but not taking on any new one-to-one clients and shifting my coaching focus to the mastermind days and VIP days is, it was massive. But yeah, wow. I mean, it's absolutely fantastic. It's worked. And even the kind of leap of faith that running them at my house rather than running them at a venue would be the right thing to do. And the feedback that I've had on that is that it's really comfortable. It makes it easier. Nobody worries about anything. The food is there, the drinks are there, the toilet's there. There's nobody, you know you're not going to be interrupted unless the cat comes in. And so the feedback on that is really good. And I just kind of had a feeling that it would be good. Yeah. But I didn't know. So I took this leap of faith that it would be okay. And generally speaking, when you believe that what you need to do and you want to do is right, it will be right. Okay. That's kind of really important to kind of say that your belief in yourself and the decisions that you're making makes everything okay and makes everything easier and makes it just kind of happen how you want it to happen, which is just such a magical and powerful thing. So I said there were two things. That was the third thing. That was one thing that I've done recently, but I guess because I've already done that and I'm in month 2 of having, well, I suppose I made the decision in November, December, I guess, but I'm into month 2 of having made that decision. So I kind of feel like that's a bit old news, really, but that's just because ADHD brain means that I've moved on to something else, something else now. So, actually, just as a little aside, today, the time of recording, it's 1 year today since my book came out. And I don't think I mentioned my book all that often on this podcast, but I know some of you listening have read the book. And yeah, that was a massive leap of faith doing that, because I invested a few £1,000s in someone to kick my ass to get it done, and also to do the typesetting and to do the design and all that stuff, and I had to have a photo shoot because I didn't have a decent photo for the cover. So all of this was part of it. And I also publicly committed to the fact that it was going to come out. And I didn't know what was going to happen. I had no idea what was going to happen, but it hit the bestsellers, #1 on Amazon, which was just really exciting. And yeah, it's been interesting over the last year what's happened with it. So it's gone. People have read it in so many, I don't know how many countries altogether, I should have that up, but lots of different countries, and Australia, Canada, the States, Sweden, Switzerland, the UK, Ireland, Spain, Portugal, I forget where else, but Mexico, but that's, quite a few countries. And to know that the difference it's making to people, and to know that people are folding down the pages to, which is an autistic person, obviously messes with my head, but folding down the corners of the pages to mark the bits that are important to them and that matter to them, and for changing people's lives. I know people have said that I don't work Fridays anymore because I read your book, and it just is. I'm so proud of that. But yeah, it was a huge leap of faith. But it's 1 year ago today at the time of recording that came out. So that's pretty cool. You can get it on Amazon if you haven't got it, Kindle and in paperback. So it's available for you there, which is, it's really cool. It's a really cool thing to do. I did a podcast episode actually, so it must have come out a year ago, about why a book can be good for your business. And I think it would be quite interesting for me to re-listen to that and to see a year on what difference it's made. Because, I regularly sign copies for people now, which is so cool. And franchisors have bought them for all of their franchisees. People in businesses have bought them for their teams. And I'm really proud of that. So yeah, you never know what's going to happen necessarily when you take these big leaps of faith. So the two leaps of faith that I've taken in the last week, I'm going to start with one that happened this week. And I've been incredibly busy in December and January. Really cool stuff, okay? Lots of opportunities. I've been kind of whisked away to work elsewhere. There's been lots of really exciting stuff happening in my world, and it's kind of come all at once, which is tiring but exhilarating. And it's finding the balance in that. I'm going to a franchise exhibition tomorrow to connect with some franchisors and franchisees, because that's a fantastic market for me, and I love working with franchisees and franchisors, those business owners. And so actually tomorrow I'm going to that exhibition, and that'll be day 13 for me with no day off, which is not how I normally work. I'm all about working less, earning more. However, there are times when you need to go all in and everything just happens at once, and you can't sustain that. None of us can sustain that for any particular length of time. But knowing that that's a conscious all in, it's all happening at once is okay, because then you plan in your periods of rest accordingly, right? But sometimes these opportunities happen all at once and you can't say no to them, because they're exactly what you want to do, which is really super cool and super exciting. So, given all this, that, there's a lot going on, I've got things are slipping. I spent a couple of hours in a hotel room last week trying to catch up on emails and file my emails, and I got it down from, it was nearly 3,000, but I got it down to about 30. And I see now it's back up to 187, and it's low. So think when you're not in the office much and there's a lot going on, then actually stuff like that can slip. And things like my podcast here, which how much I adore this podcast, but it does take me a bit of time. Not the recording's great, I love doing the recording, and somebody else edits it, professionally edits it for me. But then the show notes and the other bits and uploading it and all this stuff, it's all stuff that I do, and that has to happen. And my weekly emails, and there's certain things that are non-negotiables for me, right, every week. But it's all a bit much when I'm not in the office. If I'm not in the office for a week, which has happened recently, this stuff, it becomes really difficult to fit in. So my leap of faith this week has been to outsource and delegate more, which is logical, is what I would tell you to do. However, as an autistic person, I like to have things close and do things myself, because nobody can do anything as well as me. And just have control of stuff. And it is difficult for me to hand stuff over. So I have a VA. I've had a VA for a few months now, and she does some specific things for me, such as putting the videos of the podcast onto YouTube and doing some stuff on TikTok. But I had a bit of a breakdown. She won't describe it as that, but on a call we had this week, and I just said, I'm drowning here. I am drowning here. What you're doing is really so good. However, I am still drowning. And she said, well, what do you need me to do? It's like, right. Well, this, and this, please. Right, okay, we'll start that from next week. And it was so simple and so easy, and she is there, she is there to support me. That's absolutely what she's paid to do. And it was just kind of so refreshing to ask for the support, to get the support. And there's a big difference between asking for help and getting support, I think there's a huge difference between those, because sometimes asking for help puts you in a position of vulnerability, of inferiority, of fear. But getting support is like, I can do this, and you can help me do this better. And I feel like that's a much more positive angle to come from. So my big leap of faith, which I'm still uncomfortable with, if I'm absolutely honest, and my VA knows this, is trusting her, even though I trust her with other stuff, but trusting her to get this podcast out on time. That's a big thing. That's a big thing for me, a big trust thing. But I'm doing it. I'm taking the leap of faith because it will free up a bit of my time and a bit of my headspace, more importantly, because it's not a time, it's probably an hour a week it's going to free up for me. However, the headspace of not having to remember to do the thing will be massive, and it will mean that we can actually send out an additional email each week to people on my email list about the podcast, which is always really useful. And then I can still do my weekly business bites email as well, which gives me much more freedom and flexibility. But big leap of faith, massive, absolutely massive. So when anyone says to you, oh, just outsource it, which I'll say that, that's always an option, I understand, and there is a lot of fear behind that too, and that's perfectly normal. But after a few weeks of my VA doing this stuff, I'll be wondering what the blooming heck I was doing, spending my time on it, because you've got to take this leap of faith, and you've got to step into being the business owner. You will have heard me say this before, and my clients will say that this is an expression that I use a lot, is thinking like a business owner. And I've been doing that myself, I'm thinking like a business owner. Would a business owner, would a CEO be scheduling their own podcast? Of course they wouldn't, of course they wouldn't. And so why am I doing that? But we all sometimes, the support I give my clients, the support I give you through this podcast, we can slip, right? Just saying, not perfect. Can certainly slip in, what we say and what we do. do as I say, not as I do. I think that's what my mother used to say to me. I think that's what everybody's mother used to say to them. So that's a really, really big thing, right? It's a really big leap of faith, but it's sort of an emotional leap of faith rather than anything else. I mean, there's a financial implication, right? But the time that will free up is absolutely worth it. There's no two question about that. And it's not a massive investment. What is a massive investment is the other leap of faith that I took this week, in the last week. I went to an event in London at the weekend, and if you follow me on Instagram at Libby Langley, you will have seen me sharing various things from the weekend. And it was a self and business development weekend event, 3 days, fully immersive, great. It's just the best business kind of focused event that I've ever been to, and I've been to hundreds. But it was really, really good. Just the right place, right time, right message for me. And sometimes stuff doesn't land, but my goodness me, this all landed. And so what I did, I invested in the person running the event. Thousands. I mean, not that many thousands, more thousands. Whatever you're thinking, triple it. Thousands in this, to work with this person, because it's my big leap of faith, right? I want this year, I have some serious growth plans for my business. I feel like I've shed the COVID years, and this is a real vibe for everybody, seems to be in 2024. I've kind of shed those COVID years, and I'm like, right, come on, I'm ready now. I'm serious now. I'm not faffing about. This is where I want to be. I want to help more people. I want to empower more people, and this is how I need to do it. And it's scary doing that on your own, and it's hard to do it on your own. So I've invested in a program that will support me, that will kick my butt, that will give me maybe a few new tools and stuff, but that's not what I need. For me, it's the mindset stuff. It's the belief in myself, and crucially, it's the accountability to actually get stuff done. And this program is very heavy on that, which is what I need. I need no place to hide. And so I invested all this money, but my thinking on that, and this is again what I say to people who are thinking of working with me, if I can't make the money, the many thousands of pounds back that I'm investing in this program in the 12 months that I'm in it, I'm not doing it right. I'm not doing my business right. There is no way why I can't make double, triple, quadruple what I've invested extra in my business. And it's a leap of faith though, right? It's a leap of faith, because I don't have this money sitting around, sadly. I don't have this money sitting around in my business account. So it's a monthly commitment for me for a whole 12 months. And I say this to people who are thinking of coming onto my mastermind days, because it's certainly something that people are enthusiastic about and want to attend. But the investment, it's £500 for the day. That for some people that feels like a weighty investment. And I've said, yeah, acknowledge that it's a chunk of money. Absolutely. However, are you going to, in the next 12 months, are you going to be able to make that much back? And of course you are, because if you're not making £500 extra, then there's a lot more work that needs to be done in your business, right? So sometimes we have to just kind of find the money, and we have to take a deep breath and know that if we're paying for something over 3 months or for 12 months, we will absolutely make that money back. And that's the belief, and that's where the faith comes in this leap, right? In this leap of faith. And I do it too. I understand. And I'm kind of past the stage in business and mindset of thinking twice about £500. For me, that's a no-brainer. But yeah, I can't do the maths in my head, but however many times that I've just invested. Well, I've said before about the time that I invested £2,000 a month with a coach back in, was that 2015? Did that for 3 months. So, I'm not a stranger to investing lots of money. But I try and be as conscientious as I can as to making the decision that person that I'm investing in and I'm going to be working in is also investing in me. That's the difference, right? It's got to be a two-way thing there. And what's always worth it in programs, the kind of mindset business self-development programs, such as my mastermind days are, and such as the program that I've invested in, it's this accountability. It's this knowing that you're on a journey and you don't quite know how the journey's going to go, and you're pooing your pants because it's a really scary experience, but you believe that you're in the right container, and you believe that you're in the right space, and you believe that you're connecting with the right people, and you just believe it's going to work out. And if you believe that, then do you know what? It does. And that's not always the way that you think it will, but it does. It's this belief in yourself and this real fear and nerves and sickness about doing the investment, the money and the time, but that's what fires you up, and that's what motivates you. So yeah, really strongly advise you to think about what it is that you can delegate to someone else and what you can outsource. And if you start that with a couple of hours a month with a VA or a specialist in a certain thing, if you start that with just a couple of hours a month, it won't be an enormous financial investment, but you just see what happens when you've got that thing off your plate. And after my call with my VA this week, honestly, I went into that and I'm like, I'm so stressed. I've got so much to do. I haven't got time to have this call with you. I don't even know what we're talking about. I mean, it wasn't quite this bad, but the head in the hand stuff. And just, it's just like, well, what do you need me to do? I need you to do, right, I'm going to list all the things now. I'm just going to say them all out loud. And it turns out it's not as many things as you think, but just asking for support makes a big difference. So outsource, delegate, ask for support. Somebody you've already got in your world or somebody that you need to find new. Get accountability for where you want to go. You cannot do this on your own. And it doesn't matter if you're really committed to it. It doesn't matter if it's a group of business friends that you just WhatsApp each other every day. You know, you got to do that though, right? Or you come on a mastermind day with me, and then you go and do the actions afterwards, or you buy into a really big expensive program, right? It doesn't matter. You can choose how you want to do it, but as long as the accountability that you need is going to be available to you, that's what's important, and it's going to motivate you, and you're going to feel like you're in the right space for you. And choosing the right place to invest, and just taking a deep breath and saying, right, you know, forget about the money for a minute. Is this going to be the right space for me to get what I need this year for my business? And if the answer is, oh my God, yes, you'll find the money, right? You know, or you'll find somebody who offers something really similar, but it's not £200,000. It's maybe 2,000 or 20,000 or whatever your budget is, right? But you'll kind of know what you need, and knowing what you need is when the magic is gonna happen. And you know what you need, you know who you need it from, and then you go and take that big leap of faith, right? You take that massive jump and off you go. And that is how you fly in business. So let me know what's come up for you today. Message me on Instagram at Libby Langley, or find me on LinkedIn. I'm Libby Langley. I'd love to hear from you. And yeah, share your journey with me, and I'll continue to update you on mine. So thanks for joining me again today. I'm going to see you next week.